It is good to be back. I know you missed me last week. I can feel it as I was on vacation at the amazing, the wonderful Camp Nebagamon. But the thing I missed most was Monday at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. And that's right here, Sport in Order. And look at these two smiling faces that I get to host with today. Our winner last week, he is back, senior editor, college sports, college football right around the corner. We've got some college football on the rundown today. Patrick Schmidt, welcome back to Sport in Order. You won last week. I was not hosting, so it doesn't actually count. You're still winless in Sport in Order.
And we're going to try and start an unofficial 2-game winning streak nonetheless.
You are always right there with the brilliant thoughts, and right on it, as per always, also is Jordan Burnfield, play-by-play voice for ESPN, the Big Ten Network, pretty much anywhere on your television. And of course, a co-host of the Windy City Cubs podcast. We recorded one today. It'll be up later tonight, perhaps tomorrow morning, with my editing skills. Jordan, welcome. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I don't think that I've won this show before, so maybe third time's the charm.
There we go. Third time could be a charm. Somebody's going to get charmed today. If you are first checking out Sport in Order, this is how it goes. We've got 7 questions for you. We play, it's a best of 7 series. First to 4 takes home your Sport in Order crown. And we, of course, go through multiple topics on the day. Today, we've got some college football and a little bit of NFL, which is where we're going to start. And we'll hit some baseball as well. Patrick, since you won last week, that means you get to go first. And we are starting up in Green Bay and really actually all across the sport land. But I thought this was interesting. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, he's got a request for Packers fans. He wants them to stop doing the wave while the Packers are on offense, which I understand home field advantage, but that just seems a little bit off to me that ruin it for whoever we're playing, but don't ruin it for us. I've got some integrity issues going on about this, but here, this is my question. Why don't we just take it a step further? Should the wave just be banned from all sports stadiums everywhere? Let's ban the wave because really only a couple people enjoy it. Or perhaps I'm just the killer of fun and I'm wrong here. So should we ban the wave here, Patrick? What do you think?
Well, I got to start by saying if Matt LaFleur is worried about fans distracting the Packers by doing the wave, they got a lot of problems on their hands, more than just Aaron Rodgers and the future of him in Green Bay. But I'm not going to say they should ban the wave, but the wave is, dare I say, very cheesy. And I think if you do the wave, you should be judged negatively for doing it. I would never be caught dead doing it. If you do it, I'm going to judge the heck out of you on Twitter, on social media. But I don't think we need to officially ban the wave.
Well, there you go. Freedom of speech is alive and well in Sport in Order. Jordan, over to you.
By the way, I think Matt LaFleur is doing this just to make Aaron Rodgers as happy as possible, given how much he obviously hates being in Green Bay. I will say, I don't really have a problem with the wave. I know that isn't a popular take. I think it can look cool once in a while. I'm not really a huge fan of doing it myself. But when I see it in a stadium, I think it looks kind of cool. It also looks like people just don't care when they're doing the wave. That may be a separate point, but I don't really have a problem with the wave. I'm fine with keeping the wave.
So this is really confronting for me right out of the gates here because I hate Jordan's take, but I do like Jordan's angle that maybe LaFleur is doing it for Aaron Rodgers, kind of an olive branch. Okay, let's all get along here. And I suppose you're allowed to like the wave. Nobody mentioned, by the way, Michigan. Go Blue. You've got the coolest wave in all of sports. When you do the slow
wave,
that's really amazing. I guess I'll put Burnfield on the board here for his Matt LaFleur. It's got nothing to do with the wave. He's just
I know you hate the wave.
He's just trying to do it right by Aaron Rodgers. 1-0 Jordan. As we go down a little bit further south from Green Bay to Chicago, where they are already getting impatient. I'm watching Bears and Bills, and Mitchell Trubisky's dominating. And Andy Dalton is being booed as he's retaking the field in the second quarter of preseason game number 2. We all know that Justin Fields is the Bears' future. But let's just move it forward right now, or perhaps move it forward. Should the Bears scrap their plans and what they told Andy Dalton and just turn the team over to Justin Fields right now? Jordan.
I'm inclined to say yes, because it seems that Justin Fields is by far more talented than Andy Dalton. But I'm going to give you something I don't think you were prepared for. I don't trust the Bears with any kind of quarterback management. So I feel like whatever they choose to do based on their history is likely to be the wrong decision. That being said, it seems to me that there's no reason to play Dalton. Everybody knows what he is. Fields is the future. Might as well give Fields a shot. But if they do, it probably won't work out because they're the Bears.
So no matter what they do, anything is going to go wrong in Chicago. I've heard that from a lot of people. Like, hey, if they had gotten Patrick Mahomes, the Bears would have messed it up. Patrick, should Justin Fields be the future right now?
Future is now, and I'm going to use Jordan's point to get me the point for this one. I don't have much faith in Matt Nagy developing Justin Fields, so let's just forget about that whole developmental plan, and let's just play him now. Let's use that natural talent, that God-given ability, and let's see if Justin Fields can win some games despite his coaching staff, despite some questionable offensive line play, and let the kid play. We know Andy Dalton can't play. He's been regressing for the last 5 years. It's time to turn the future over to the kid now.
Everybody is all on board with doing it now, and you're both saying the same thing, and you're both absolutely taking runs at Matt Nagy and his ability to figure out football, which I think is a very fair case. Although really, at the end of the day, Ryan Pace, come on, man. You're drafting offensive linemen with back issues and trading up to do it. That ain't great. Well, I guess at the end of the day, Patrick, you put out there, win some games. So I guess we're going to orient to winning more than anything. And I suppose Justin Fields gives you the best chance to win. So since you underline that, we'll tie it up here. 1 apiece. I, by the way, am just there's no problem with Andy Dalton playing for a little while here and let Justin learn. Although maybe I'm just archaic with that thought process because, looking around the NFL as we go to question 3, quarterback controversy seemingly everywhere. Trey Lance may not get the nod in San Francisco over Jimmy Garoppolo. You've got Mac Jones trailing Cam Newton in New England. And even my guy, check out YouTube, FanSided, Gardner Minshew, still in the battle with Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. I'm asking which of these 3 teams would actually be wisest to stick with their veteran option here in the wanting to win games at the start of the season mode. Patrick, you're up.
Well, with all due respect to the Gardner Minshew apologist hosting this show, Trevor Lawrence is going to start over Minshew in Jacksonville. That's a no-brainer. So really it comes down to San Francisco and New England for me. Cam Newton, he's in that COVID protocol for 5 days, kind of opened up the door for Mac Jones to kind of get a late last-minute audition here. But I think the 49ers have to stick with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a Super Bowl caliber roster. We've seen it 2 years ago with Garoppolo quarterbacking that team to the Super Bowl. Trey Lance, he's got a bright future, but unlike the Bears, the 49ers need to stick with Jimmy Garoppolo and keep their rookie on the bench.
The Eastern Illinois Panther. We see you, EIU. Jordan, what do you think?
I mean, I think Patrick's right, and I hate to agree, but the fact of the matter is, you don't develop a quarterback when you have a chance to win a division. The 49ers have a chance because they have a really good roster. Now, Seattle's obviously going to be there. Arizona's taken a step forward, but it's clear that San Francisco is a good team. 2 years ago, they were in the Super Bowl. It's not like this roster has lost that much. So I think you have to give Garoppolo the chance to start. I think Mac Jones, it'd be an uphill battle in New England. I don't think that team is good enough. I'm fine with him getting development, but you have to start Garoppolo. If he plays his way out of the position, then I think you go to Trey Lance.
It was such an easy play for Burnfield. Minshew was just sitting right there. My guy, I mentioned the YouTube interview. I mean, this is not a real judgment thing. You could have just leaned into the Carm factor here, but I respect your integrity. But I disagree on San Francisco winning the West. I think that division's really tough. So their path to me is incredibly I see San Francisco as it's past them. So I'm based on Burnfield's optimism for the 49ers. I guess I'm going to give Patrick the point here. I do think that Mac Jones is, to me, in New England, like, you are going nowhere with Cam Newton. It's not happening, and it's time to rebuild. So I would take Cam out of there. But all right, Patrick, let's give you the point. Let's move on here, and let's get to some baseball. And you both are Cubs fans, but I'm going to point out the team that is more pathetic than the Cubs right now, which is the Baltimore Orioles, and they've lost 18 games in a row. Now, the club record is 21 straight, and the O's are at home with the Angels. So if you're one of the few proud Baltimore Oriole fans that are headed to Camden Yards, and even the ones watching at home, should Oriole fans be rooting for the team to break the club record and make this 2021 end of season more memorable? Jordan, should Oriole fans be rooting for losses?
I would say no, and here's why. If you're an Orioles fan, I mean, if you're not an Orioles fan, I'd say it's hilarious. Go for it. Let's see how many they can lose in a row. If you're an Orioles fan, this has already been humiliating. There have been several seasons in a row where the Orioles have been completely non-competitive. They do have the draft picks. They're going to get a top 5 pick anyway. So the idea of losing 21 straight versus 18 straight means what, right? In the grand scheme of things. To me, it's been humiliation for a once proud franchise. You don't want to put this on your team. I'd say let's hope they win again.
Can they beat Joe Madden's Angels? What do you think here, Patrick? Are you rooting for losses if you were put yourself in a Baltimore Orioles fan jersey?
I'm going to lean into it. If you're going to be bad, you might as well be the best at being the worst. So if I'm an Orioles fan, I'm leaning into it. It's been bad. You lose 18 straight. Might as well go ahead and lose 21, 22 straight. Not only is 21 losses the club record, that's the longest losing streak in baseball since divisional play began in 1969. So you might as well celebrate a milestone, whether it's positive or negative. In this case, turn that negative into a positive, secure that number 1 pick. They got a 3-game cushion, the worst record in baseball. Forget about getting a top 5 pick. Secure that number 1 pick and maybe get a future franchise cornerstone.
Yeah, and then you can say as an Oriole fan, I was there in the worst of times and the worst of times. I think this is a badge of honor for all you Oriole fans out there who love.
Let me ask you a question, Carm. If the Cubs lost 30 in a row, would you be celebrating it? No way.
First of all, I'm a White Sox guy. Go White Sox. Second of all, absolutely, I would celebrate what the Cubs are doing. I think is great. They've lost 13 in a row at home. Way to go. Head on out to Wrigley Field. Baltimore, go for be the best at being bad. Patrick, you got the lead here. 3-1. Can Jordan nail 3 in a row? It's been done before. As we go to question 5, and the MLB wild card races are heating up. We got Boston and Oakland tied for the second AL spot. We got San Diego now one back of the hard charging Reds. Wow, the Padres have really fallen on hard times. Who's going to come out on top in these wild card chases? You can include the 1 seeds as well here. Patrick, what do you think? Baseball is getting a little more interesting here as we get late in the season.
Yeah, if we were talking in the beginning of the season, I thought the Padres would have been a lock for a postseason berth. You look at their roster; it's just loaded. But then you think that they've been so desperate they had to make a move to acquire Jake Arrieta in the last week. The ghost of Jake Arrieta. We saw how bad he was with the Cubs this season, so that kind of goes to show you where things stand with the Padres. But I'm looking at the schedule. The Padres have 22 games left against the Dodgers, Giants, Astros, and Braves. It's the hardest remaining schedule in baseball. So I look at the Reds schedule. They have 16 games left against the Cubs, the Nationals, the Marlins, and Pirates. 4 of the worst teams in baseball outside the Orioles. So for me in the National League, I think the Reds knock out the Padres. And I like the Red Sox to get in ahead of the Oakland A's. Just too talented of a team. I think Chris Sale, maybe he gets 4 or 5 starts here down the stretch. I think that could be the difference between the Red Sox and the A's.
Jordan, can you beat that fine, well-constructed argument by Patrick Schmidt?
It's a very good argument. I would say right now, Boston has not been trending in the right direction. And the fact that the Yankees have played as well as they have puts even more pressure on the Red Sox to stay in a postseason berth. Getting Chris Sale back is huge, but we really have no idea what Sale's going to be. He hasn't pitched in a year. So to assume that he's going to be a key piece down the stretch, you're going based off the history, which is obviously good, but we really have no idea. Oakland's been real good all year. The one concern I have is obviously Chris Bassett getting hurt last time out. I think it depends on how he looks if and when he's able to come back. Right now it looks good for the Red Sox, but I still think that the A's probably have the better overall team, and they've been a little bit more consistent. So I'm going with Oakland. In the National League, I mean, Cincinnati has good pitching, and they've won 7 out of 10. San Diego, it feels like there's been so much pressure on them all season. And I have to say, too, they're a kind of prisoner of their division. When you have San Francisco and the Dodgers seemingly never losing a game, it mounts on you. So right now, I do like the Reds over the Padres. I feel like there's so much pressure on San Diego that it may just be too much.
It's just a nice job, as per always, on both sides. And wow, San Diego, it is rough. And breaking a little bit before Sport Order that Larry Rothschild has lost his position as the Padres pitching coach.
That'll make a difference.
In San Diego, well, they're celebrating in San Diego almost as much as they were celebrating when Ned Yost was fired in Milwaukee back in the day in the middle of September. Jordan, I'm with you though on Oakland. I'm not as bullish on the Red Sox as Patrick is, and the sale point I think is a fair one. We're not exactly sure how that arm is going to hold up. So Burnfield stays alive 3-2 as we go to Question 6, college football. This is Patrick Schmidt's main lane. We'll see if Burnfield can pull an upset here. And the season, of course, coming quick. Alabama, the Crimson Tide, where they always are, and that is your preseason number 1. Yeah, let's make this interesting. Who has the best chance to challenge Bama, win it all? Jordan, Burnfield, who are you excited about in that top of the food chain college football argument right now? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the last few years, it's been the same teams every year, right? It's Clemson, it's Georgia, it's Ohio State, it's maybe Notre Dame, and then they get clobbered in the CFP playoff. I think right now, though, it's hard not to think, just coming out of the ACC alone, that Clemson has the easiest path to get back, right? I mean, the Big Ten is going to be, I think Ohio State's still the best team in the East, but there are good teams in the Big Ten East that are going to at least make things challenging for Ohio State. They don't have Justin Fields anymore. I think Georgia's obviously going to be a pretty good team, but Clemson, even without Trevor Lawrence, I don't feel like they're going to be challenged that much in that conference. That's why I feel like Clemson is probably the team that has the easiest path to get back to play Bama.
Patrick, who's going to beat Bama, if anyone?
Well, Clemson is the answer, like Jordan was saying. DJ Uiagalelei, he had 2 starts last year in relief of Trevor Lawrence when he was out with COVID. Went 1-1 in those starts. Had a comeback win against Boston College. Threw for 400-plus yards in the double overtime loss against Notre Dame. This guy is going to be a future number 1 pick in the NFL draft. But the reason Clemson can beat Alabama this year, it's that defense. It was a reloading year last year for that defense. Brian Breezy, Miles Murphy, that defense, a couple of former 5-star recruits. This unit is absolutely loaded. Alabama breaking in a first-year starting quarterback, Bryce Young, supremely talented but inexperienced. I think that would be the difference this year. Oklahoma, just defensively, not where it needs to be. Georgia, they always choke, they fail. Ohio State breaking in a first-year starter with C.J. Stroud. So I think the cards are lining up for Clemson. Alabama for the 4th time, I think, in a national championship game. I think Clemson has the best chance to beat Alabama, if anybody can beat Alabama.
So I consider myself stunned here that Burnfield, Mr. College Hoops, was able to nail the correct answer here with Clemson, backed up by our college sports aficionado. By the way, everybody should be checking out Patrick's work, fansided.com, college football season. But for the rabbit out of the hat, Jordan Burnfield nailing Clemson, I have to tie it up here. I can't even believe that Burnfield is confirmed by Schmidt, and this is a big moment in the history of Sport and Order. Go Clemson. I thought Patrick, you might go off the board here. But you didn't. So, Jordan, you're in there, 3 apiece. And let's see if we can wrap it up with the big finish here. It's all on the line. And, yes, the biggest story with college football right now is the protocols for the season. The Big Ten announcing that, hey, if games cannot be played, then they will not be rescheduled. And if it's your school that couldn't play, then you will have lost the game. If both schools couldn't play, then it will go into the tie category. The ACC, the Big 12, the Pac-12, same policy. The SEC is finalizing theirs, so it's expected to be the same. School can't play, it's going to go down as a loss. Our power conference is getting this right with their 2021 COVID policy. Patrick, you think they're doing this right?
Yep, 100% right. They've nailed this policy. The rules are clearly stated. If you have a COVID outbreak, this is basically incentivizing teams to get the vaccine. You've seen a lot of the SEC teams, a lot of the great teams, the good teams have met these thresholds. They're trying to do everything they can to take advantage of this competitive advantage. And I really like what the SEC is going to do. It's not official yet, but the SEC, not only are they going to have teams forfeit if they can't play, but they're going to hurt them where it counts. They're going to take money away, the conference revenue split. They're going to hurt teams in their pocketbooks. If you can't play, you're not getting paid. So I think that might be the final little push to get these teams vaccinated. before the season starts.
Jordan, is this putting too much on college kids? You must be vaccinated.
No, because you know how you take the political argument out of this? You tell an SEC team they won't play in the college football playoff, right? Because that's what would happen if a team has to forfeit and all of a sudden their season gets derailed because of it. So I think it's great. I think they should do this. You've seen how much the NFL has placed on the players in terms of getting vaccinated so that they don't have any games forfeited or canceled or whatnot. And so this is how you make things work in 2021 in this day and age. You have to make getting the vaccine a priority. And I love what these conferences are doing.
Well, the old moment of truth here. I think we're all on board. I do feel it's a little bit, there should be at least a difference between the NFL and college football, but clearly that difference is, that line has been blurred for a long, long time now and continues to go that way. This is a tough one, but I guess because he underlined the dollars first, I'm going to lean towards Patrick Schmidt on this one and give him the back-to-back and first ever victory with Carmen hosting on a very, very, very tight sport in order. But a lot of agreement today, and because maybe I need to work on my questions here, but you guys were in line a lot, but there were some good arguments, I guess, with Oakland and we can go all the way back to the Wave, where Jordan admitted on screen for millions to see that he is a fan of the Wave, which actually probably should have given him the win right there because that took a lot of courage. Jordan, anything?
DQ.
One of the two. Jordan, anything you want to promote that's going on in your world outside of your domination on the Windy City podcast?
I mean, anytime you want to see me lose on this show, you just have to invite me on because I think I'm now 0-3.
Hey, listen, the Bulls started out 0-3 in '91 and they won the NBA title. You're in this. You're in that category. I don't see anything different between you and Jordan, Pippen, and Horace Grant and that team. Patrick, this is a back-to-back win for you. Anything that you would like to, let your fans know right now?
Yeah, I'm just feeling really good. Got to thank my parents for helping me get to this position. Got to thank the fans out there for giving me the motivation to be in this position. Was really nervous. Jordan brought his A game. But, just really happy to be here today. And thanks, Connor, for asking some great questions. We did agree on a number of these questions, but I think, that happens when you get two smart people talking about some really engaging topics. It's bound to happen.
Yeah. I don't know your parents, but I do know Jeff and Gwen, who are amazing parents on the Burnfield side. I've known Jordan for a couple of years now as he trained me how to do radio back in the day. But whoever your parents are, Mr. and Mrs. Schmidt, your guys are awesome. I know your mom makes amazing cookies, Patrick. So that is a true story.
We're blessed.
All right, this is getting weird at the end of Sport in Order, but that's why you stuck around, because this is the highlight of the show. It was all great today. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for everybody who helped out, specifically Richard and Michael and Maddie and everybody at FanSided. So we will see you next Monday, 5 Eastern, 4 Central. I will not be on the show. I don't know who is hosting, but check out my Twitter from the U.S. Open. Tennis is right around the corner, and we'll see you next week.